welcome back to the Isn't That Rich podcast. Today we're talking about a topic that every working American should be concerned about, and that is Social Security and why you shouldn't rely on it for retirement.
I love that everyone's talking about it because they're just like, Social Security is not going to be here when we're older. And it's like, let's dig into that and see if that's actually true.
Right.
Someone's just saying it on TikTok. You don't know if it's real.
All over TikTok. Everyone's like, don't count on it.
Don't count on it. But I'm like, why not?
I know.
No one's really like done the research, I feel like, or I haven't listened to many things. So I'm excited to talk about this today and just like learn about it, learn what it is, and see if it's going to be there when I'm like 87.
When you're retiring at 87,
Yeah.
Is that when you're retiring?
Yeah. I love to work.
So let's talk about what it is.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't even realize the benefits of Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So Social Security is a federal program that provides retirement, disability, and survivor benefits to eligible Americans. So basically, if you've worked long enough, you can receive benefits from Social Security. But it hasn't always been around. So Social Security was established in 1935 by President Roosevelt, so Franklin Roosevelt. It was part of the New Deal. So this is a big cornerstone in financial security for Americans, because before then, no one was really able to save for retirement in this way, or there wasn't a program. But there was a lot of resistance for it because some people were for it. You know, there were elderly people who were for it. They had no savings or retirement and needed some form of way to live, essentially.
Right.
And then there was the other side where like, well, this is a step closer to socialism. You know, weren't loving that.
Okay.
And it wasn't initially, a lot of like self-employed people weren't included in that. So they had to work things out with that. So that came later on. Like farmers were really upset about it because they weren't included in this, and other self-employed individuals. But through the years, it's kind of just became this cornerstone that everyone relies on in their retirement. And we're here to talk about why you shouldn't solely rely on that for your retirement.
I feel like Jill's our history teacher.
She is. I'm always
She's
learning
always
so
teaching
much.
us something. But I think it's so nice to know like where these concepts come from, because we just, we're used to them because we've worked our whole lives, and you look at your pay stub and it says, so, this much money has been taken out for Social Security. And you're like, what the heck is that?
What does that mean?
And where did it get started? So I think that's really interesting that, when we were trying to figure out how to live when we were older, they're like, we'll do this.
Yeah. So this is like during the Great Depression. So it was like in the depths of the Great Depression when this was coming about or was established.
Okay.
And yes, economic security was like a major concern. A lot of people were unemployed, and poverty among elderly was really, really high at that time. So yeah, interesting.
But
Now it's, like I said, just become something widely accepted.
Well, widely accepted. You don't have a choice, really. I mean, they're going to take it out of your paycheck.
Right. Absolutely.
You're paying into it.
Why don't you tell us how it works, Ashley? Because I feel like it sounds like a complex deal.
Yeah. So the system is based on a pay-as-you-go model, as you guys
Like
know.
you just said.
Like I just said, they're going to swipe that out of your paycheck, you guys.
Yep.
I act like it's like a bad
They're
thing.
coming for your paycheck.
But it means that the taxes you pay today fund the benefits for current retirees, disabled individuals, and survivors. So technically, the money we're kind of dishing out now is going into the pot to feed other people. That's the way I understand it. And then one day, you can dip from the pot.
It kind of works the same way insurance. Like it's collected, and then when you can draw from it, everybody does.
You have a ladle.
It's a great way to think
You
about
have
it.
a ladle.
It's just like insurance.
One day you get to scoop.
We just hope people are a little too scoop heavy
and so on
before our time.
This episode, we're like hoping we can scoop one day. We're like, right.
Gen Z has their fingers crossed.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go through like the step by step on how the breakdown works. So I'm just going to read it. So earning credits. I think it's funny, like they talk about it as credits. So throughout your working life, you and your employer pay into Social Security taxes. In 2024, you earn 1 credit for each $1,640 of earnings. So up to a maximum of 4 credits per year.
So no matter what your salary, your max is 4 credits.
Max is 4 credits
per year. Got it.
Yeah. So it's not just like if you're a kabillionaire you can, I mean, you're not going to make more
credits.
Social Security money. You're just going to get 4 credits.
Okay.
I guess if you make less than that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're not paying in as much. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then most people need 40 credits, which is about 10 years of work to qualify for Social Security benefits. So it seems like it's something that you can't even dip your ladle into until you've worked for 10 years or had 40 credit hours.
Right.
Credit hours. I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
Just
that's
credit.
college.
I'm thinking like college, you know. But I think this is interesting. So how do you calculate your benefits? So the amount of Social Security benefits is based on your highest 35 years of earning.
So take an average of your highest earnings, not the lower earnings.
Yes.
Interesting.
Of your 35 years. If you have fewer than 35 years of earning, the Social Security will average in zeros for those missing years, which will reduce your benefit amount.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
yeah, so I'm wondering like if you were working and then maybe you took a couple years off to be like a stay-at-home mom or something. I think those years are going to fill in zeros for you,
Right.
which reduces your amount at the end of the game, which kind of stinks.
It does stink.
Kind of stinks, yeah. The Social Security uses a formula to adjust your earnings to account for changes in average wages for over your working years. This process is called wage indexing.
We don't have to worry about that. They calculate it for us. So, I mean,
Thank God.
the Social Security Administration will calculate and do the wage indexing for you. And it's
What if we had to do that? That'd be terrible. I'd be in handcuffs, jail. Wouldn't do it right.
Only the IRS
What?
was like that, where we didn't have to figure that out ourselves.
yeah.
Yes, thank you, IRS. I like to talk about this. So your full retirement age depends on the year that you were born. So for example, if you were born in 1960 or later, your retirement age is 67 years old.
And this is interesting because if you were born prior to 1960, you actually were able to retire at a younger age.
Really?
Is 62?
Yeah, it varied from 62 all the way up to 67. Currently in 2024, it's at this 67 is your full retirement age.
Yeah. If
Crazy.
you do decide to start receiving benefits at age 62, your monthly benefit will be reduced to account for the longer period of time that you will be receiving them.
So you just receive a smaller payment
Yeah, every month because you're
Okay.
drawing for a longer time than
and not contributing to it as much, probably.
correct, Jill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about the different types of Social Security benefits, because it's not just retirement.
Right. People don't realize that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the most common one is retirement. Like you were saying, you have to be in paying into the system for at least 10 years. And again, you can do that at the age of 62. But if you do that before that, your benefit's going to be reduced. So keep that in mind. You don't want to try to retire too early because you're not going to get all those
That
those
extra
great
money.
benefits.
Can't check out yet.
Don't check out yet. Hold on.
Gotta get those 40 credits.
Gotta get those 40 credits. Yeah. The next one's going to be disability benefits. So this is also pretty common as well. You just don't really hear about it as much, but this really goes towards individuals who have a medical condition that prevents them from working longer than a year, or potentially they could be dying.
Yeah.
So that's one way to receive Social Security. And then another one's going to be survivor benefits. So let's say you're the primary breadwinner of your family and you die, your spouse or your children, or even if you have like a parent who's dependent upon you, will receive those benefits as well.
So they'll receive the money you were supposed to receive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Kind of like a pension.
Yeah.
That's the way I think about it.
Exactly.
Well, here comes the big meat of this, because there's been all this buzz about Social Security not being available when it comes time for us to retire. And we're going to talk about why you shouldn't rely on it solely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the
Well,
first reason why, Ashley?
The first reason why is because it's only going to replace a certain portion of your income. And I think we all know this from like just going even through an inflation period, like stuff just keeps rising. And like, I don't think Social Security is necessarily catching up with that in the way we're living. And so Social Security benefits are only supposed to replace about 40% of the average worker's pre-retirement income. So for example, let's say you were earning $60,000 a year before retirement, your Social Security benefits might provide around $24,000 annually. You can't live off that.
So, I mean, it might help a little bit, but it's not going to count for all the income.
Like I'll take the money, but
Right.
that's what, $2,000 for a month for a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be about,
You can't do that.
No,
and you
less than half.
certainly can't do that when you're 67.
right. I just think about all the different bills you have later in life too.
For sure.
They really add up. So,
Yeah.
And the cost of living is going up like drastically.
Well,
in
we
just
know
the past
that.
few years. And if you think about like medical payments and, just everything is going up. By the time you start to get that money, it may not be worth as much.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely, that's it. It's not worth as much.
Yeah.
It's not worth as much. The dollar isn't worth.
yeah. Another reason you shouldn't solely rely on Social Security for retirement is potential benefit reductions. So while the Social Security trust funds projected to be depleted by 2034, there's a possibility that benefits could be reduced if no changes are made to the system. So while current retirees might not see a drastic cut, the future benefits could be impacted. For example, if the trust funds are depleted, payroll taxes would cover only about 78% of benefits. This means you're expected 24. So take that example. You made $60,000 before your retirement. You're supposed to receive $24,000. That 40% you're expecting. Right. Well, it could be reduced to about $18,000 a year. So even less. So about 30%. So it's being depleted at a faster rate than it's being filled.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yikes.
So that all just depends on politicians and who's elected and what they come up with for the, continuation of Social Security, but there could be changes to that in the future. So,
Wow. I can't get over that. You cannot live off that.
No.
That's just crazy.
No.
Okay. So this one's interesting. Another reason you should not rely on Social Security is because we are living longer, everyone. We are super healthy.
If you're not eating McDonald's every
we're
day.
living longer and all the things. So yeah, I mean, you never know. If you retire at 65 and you live until you're 95, it's 30 years, folks, that you have to pay to live.
Right.
And 30 years, let's remember, that's still time
Longer than you've been alive.
longer than you've been alive.
Well, longer than you have.
We're not saying that, right?
Maybe me too.
No, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 30 years is a long time to have more inflation and cost of living is going up.
Yeah.
And if your benefits stay at that same level, you're going to be wishing maybe you croaked out at 67. I don't know.
Lord, take me home. Anyway.
Take the wheel.
Another one's really limited survivor benefits. So again, like I was saying earlier, Social Security provides survivor benefits, but I mean, think about it. Let's say you're the primary breadwinner, you have a stay-at-home spouse taking care of your children. You're only getting a portion of those benefits. That's really it's not going to be nearly enough to support your family. And so it's really important to have a backup plan, even life insurance policy or things like that as well, to help provide that cushion. I think of my dad, his dad died when he was 11 months old. My grandma had 6 kids and had to figure out how to raise 6 children. She had to work and all these things, but it's I think about that situation. I don't know how she made it through,
Right.
but I mean, situations like that happen every day, and it's a whole family like that can't survive off of a small portion of Social Security.
I was going to say, I think it's interesting that you said a portion of someone's benefits, because it's a portion of a portion,
Right.
Which is just even smaller.
Yeah. And to kind of refer back to what you said too, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not contributing to Social Security, that means even later on in your retirement, although you are receiving survivor benefits from your husband or whoever that died, in that case, your grandma's, it was now she's, not contributing it. So her retirement's getting even smaller because she can't.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Intense. Yeah.
And the last reason why you shouldn't solely rely on Social Security for your retirement is there's lack of flexibility. We've kind of already been talking about this, but your rate is essentially set during your retirement. So you can essentially see at this moment what you'll be receiving if you were to retire today or start receiving benefits. If you log on to the Social Security website, you can see, so there's lack of flexibility there. It's not going to vary with inflation, with all the things that we've been talking about.
And don't forget, you have to work 10 years and have 40 credits.
That's right. At least 40 credits.
Don't forget about the 40 credits.
Don't forget. They're like, nope, canceled. Okay, so let's talk about like some positive things we can do to supplement our income for when we're 87.
Yeah.
So we can build a comprehensive retirement plan, which we love to talk about this, to ensure comfortability and secure benefits. It's essential to have diversified income strategies. And so I think the first one is if you have an employee sponsored retirement plan, like a 401k, you better contribute to it.
Yeah.
Because that is going to grow and give you way more flexibility than Social Security benefits are.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's so crazy that people leave that money on the table. Like if they're not contributing to it's essentially part of your benefits package. Like it's part of your compensation. If you're at least not taking what your employer contributes, then you're not getting paid your full salary essentially.
Yeah, you're really not. It's free money, especially if your employer is matching.
Yeah.
And it's just an easy way to my thing is like they're taking Social Security out of your paycheck anyway. So why don't you take a portion of your paycheck out and give it to your 401k? That's going to grow immensely. And by the time you're 92,
Yeah.
your grandkids will be rich.
I'm kind of surprised too about the amount of people that like maybe have had one at one point or they forget about it or they're not thinking like that's money for you,
Yeah,
like
take that with
move
you.
it over or take it or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we
But
were in our 401k meeting the other day at work, and one of our coworkers was like, I have a 401k from a couple years ago. Like, I don't know what to do with it. Can I roll it over to this plan? And she was like, absolutely. Like, I'm glad you said something. Or
Yeah. Take it with
doesn't
you when
just
you
die
leave
there.
take it with you when you leave.
Another one is going to be an IRA, which stands for an individual retirement account. So you could either open a traditional or a Roth IRA. And these accounts are really good because there's really good tax benefits towards them as well.
Yeah, whichever one you choose. Yeah.
And I think they changed it. I think it's like a maximum of you could donate $7,000 a year.
Yep, contribute
So sometimes it's
7,000.
6,000 to 7,000.
And
It
depending,
increases every year.
yeah, and depending on your age too, if you're over 65, you can actually, it's a little higher than that as well.
Contribute more.
It's awesome.
It's like the catch-up clause or something. Yeah. Very cool. Another way you can contribute to your retirement plan would be your personal savings and investments. So setting aside money in your savings accounts, in CDs or investments, bonds, money market accounts. There's other ways that you can save for retirement throughout your working career.
Yep.
Also think about rental income. That's an investment opportunity because you're paying into something, you're paying into an asset, and then it appreciates and grows, making you more money. So if that is an opportunity for you, that's another way that you could supplement your income for the future.
Yeah, we had an episode we just did recently about like the 7 forms of income. I think that's a really great way. Real estate is a great way to save. There's other ways you can earn income besides your just 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So that's a good episode to listen to for sure.
Right. Another one is just getting like a part-time job. So maybe you just started getting Social Security, but like you said, we're living longer, we're healthier, we're a little more able-bodied.
All the things.
It's not a bad idea to get like a part-time job and, working on the side or having kind of a side hustle as maybe you're collecting Social Security.
In retirement. This sounds so morbid, but I know so many people in my life that the moment they retire or they stop working,
They go downhill.
their health decreases or they deteriorate. And I mean, having that purpose, I know what I'm going to do in my retirement.
Are you driving the golf
Yeah, what
cart?
are you gonna
No,
do?
it's close to that.
Driving the golf
So I live on Lake of Egypt, and I think the best job in the world is Max Ray, who drives the Lake Patrol boat every day.
Jill, you're going to be
I'm going to be Lake Patrol. I'm driving that boat around in my retirement, and I'm going to check your life jackets and make sure that you're being safe on the lake. That is my retirement plan. So,
oh my gosh.
Everyone better straighten up on the Lake of Egypt. That's all I'm going to say.
Jill Franks is out there.
My part-time job in retirement.
She's going to have her binoculars.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get a pontoon and drill down a Blackstone on there and flip burgers. Sell them for like $20 a pop.
Yeah.
So my mom's retired, and so she'll knit these little like pumpkins, like because she's bored. So she'll knit these like cute little pumpkins, and she'll go to craft fairs and sell them and all this kinds of stuff. So now she's like a little entrepreneur selling all these like homemade cards and stuff like that.
I've seen her homemade cards. Yeah. They're stinking adorable.
I tell her she doesn't sell them for near enough. I'm like, Mom, you're like selling them cheaper than like what you bought the materials for. Like there's no way you're making
your Social Security benefits are not going to cover that.
She's like, no, I just like doing it. I like creating. I'm like, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
Increase.
I love it. Well, Jill, we talked about earlier how you can go check your Social Security benefits now. And we've actually done this before. So will you walk us through the website?
Yeah. So I think this is so good to know that you have access to view what your Social Security benefits are at the tip of your fingers. And all you have to do is visit the Social Security website, and we'll leave that in the show notes, but it's www.ssa.gov/my-account. You can actually register for an account or create a new account, sign in if you already have it. And you'll have to provide some personal information to create one. So your name, Social Security number, date of birth, valid email address. And then it's going to take you through like a bunch of security questions like, what street did you live on, and what street looks familiar?
What's your color of your car?
Maybe. So if you
do you plan to sell your soul to us?
They'll ask you about certain loans, previous addresses, all that kind of stuff to make sure it's you. They put you through the ringer a little bit there, but then once they verify your identity, you'll set up your username and password. Make sure to choose a strong one, because this is a way fraudsters, I think, scam is getting into people's Social Security accounts just to see how much money they'll be receiving in retirement, right? But after you set up your account, make it safe. You can log in and view your Social Security statement all the time. It's kind of nice because the statement will show your earning records and your estimated benefits at different retirement ages and other important information.
Okay,
So,
yeah. Wow. And we did that.
So if you want to retire at 62 and start receiving benefits, it'll show you and calculate that for you. Yeah.
I think it's super important to make sure you're checking those like regularly. Just hop on there like once a year, I guess, when you're doing kind of your like financial checkup. If you do like an annual one, we talk about that on here. Definitely just pop onto that website and check out your benefits, see where you're at. I'm not saying you're going to be like making $1 million when you're older, but it is nice just to see where you're at.
Yeah, it's a benefit
and
for sure.
And you really should, I think, make an account now. I don't think you should wait till like get on there when you're 67.
No.
Yeah.
If I waited till I was 67 and didn't know, I think it would drive me a little crazy, a little bonkers. Like I like to know those things, be able to plan. I'm a planner.
Yeah. So I definitely still think that this is going to be around maybe when we're older.
Hopefully.
We're crossing our fingers.
I think we're so used to it that there would be a pretty big uproar if they didn't
happen.
Yeah. I mean, think about all the people right now that are paying money into it that if it was gone would just be upset.
Right.
I would be.
I think bottom line though, it's just like you just can't depend on it, right? As your sole income. And we've gone over that today. And so I think that's what I want people to take away from this episode is like, it may still be there and it probably will still be there when we're older, but like, it's not doing much for you. It's going to supplement some of your income, which is great.
Think of it of your annual bonus, right? Like
That's a great way to think about it, honestly.
Yeah. Don't depend on it, but if you get the bonus, it's pretty good gig.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thanks for paying me back, Social Security. I appreciate you giving me my money back.
Yeah. But it's also important to know kind of where you're at so that you can plan accordingly with these other retirement funds as well. So that website, definitely check it out. I think that's going to be super helpful for a lot of people.
Well, it's really nice too, because within the Social Security website, you can actually, if you lose your Social Security card or have other things that you need to take care of with Social Security, you can order it, and they're really great customer service. Actually, I had to do that.
Wow, I know. Government agency.
Yes. So check it out.
Why are you talking to the customer service? Oh,
well,
did you
when I
lose
got
yours?
married, so it was a big deal to like go and change your name, and they made it. It was probably the easiest part of changing my name. So yeah, sent me a new card. I got it in a couple of days.
You heard it here
wonderful.
first. Social Security has excellent customer service, like Farmers State Bank.
I love it. Well, this has been fun, you guys.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
It's a good one. I did learn a lot.
Yeah. Anything else you'd want our listeners to remember?
I honestly, this is just like the thing that stuck out the most to me today. I didn't realize that Social Security could be used for disability. And so I think that's nice that now we can share with people, like, if that happens to you in your life, just know like you can run to these benefits. Of course, if you have 40 credits. So that was my takeaway.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
For sure. I think it's nice to know that, you know, reasons why you shouldn't, because I, you know, always thought like this is going to be a way of retirement. You think about it, it's like a larger
I think
portion.
a lot of people think like that.
Right. Because like I grew up and like my parents and grandparents, like they made a big deal about it. But I think my generation and even the generation after me, we have to think about it a lot differently, because there is maybe more of a risk of, I don't know, maybe not getting it. Yeah. So we got to plan accordingly.
For sure.
So it's kind of helpful to think about it and to be like, all right, here are some other retirement funds that I should really be putting my energy into.
Definitely.
So.
Well, I hope that our listeners have learned a lot about Social Security and found this helpful, and at least can log on to their account and check out for themselves what they'll be receiving for benefits. So thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you next week.
So Jill, where do we go from here?
Be sure to check out our show notes for this episode, and also be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.